Back at it again in another day, another FBI raid on a Democrat. Now, I don't think anything's going to come out of this, okay? I just want to start off with that. But it is interesting that all of this stuff is happening. You know, you have the situation with Mayor Adams of New York, right? Who was, I believe his campaign manager or head campaign person, chick, was raided first. And then he had some negative things to say about Joe Biden and the immigration issue. And then he was raided and slapped with, I believe, some Me Too allegations. And then you have the Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who I don't know if I've ever made a video on her or not. I can't remember. But she's another Democrat mayor who is being investigated by the FBI. And of all people that the city brought out to help investigate her, they hired the former mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot. Yeah, Beetlejuice, aka. They hired her, the city hired her to come in and investigate their new mayor, Tiffany Henyard. That's a whole mess, and the FBI is investigating her. I believe the FBI, was it Brandon Johnson as well? The mayor of Chicago? Was it him, or was it just like some allegations that came out against him? I don't remember, but I could have swore I saw something that he was having some issues too, you know. And now we have the mayor of Oakland, California, aka or formerly known as California, Oakland. And yeah, her name is Sheng Tao. She's being recalled, which is just absolutely crazy. You hired her, you voted to have her in, and now you just want to get rid of her, even though you're just gonna vote in another Democrat, which makes no sense. It's the same thing as Chicago. They wanted Lori Lightfoot out so badly, but then they just hired the same thing. You just hired another Democrat, so you're just gonna get the same policies. Doesn't matter who the face is, doesn't matter who the name is, it's the same policies, so you get the same result. And the last I heard, they were trying to get Brandon Johnson out of Chicago, but unfortunately, due to the laws and the rules there, they aren't able to. They have to change the laws first, and then the next mayor they'll be able to vote out, but they can't get Brandon Johnson out until his time runs out. So they're stuck with him. Tragic. So yeah, let's jump into the story, because also the DA in Oakland is also being recalled as well. So with that being said, I know I had a long intro there, but let's dive in.
News we're following for you this afternoon. Multiple locations raided by the FBI in Oakland. That includes the home of Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao. Mayor was due to appear at an event this morning at 10, but she was a no-show. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vicki Liviakis.
And I'm Grant Lotus. The FBI is not releasing any specifics about what these raids are about. Here's a map showing the locations raided this morning. That includes the home of Oakland's mayor, who has a place on Maiden Way, as well as properties on Embarcadero Way, Viewcrest Court, and Skyline Boulevard.
Our correspondent Dan Kerman, he's been following this story all day long, joining us now live from the property that the mayor owns with the latest details. Wow, Dan, what are you finding out?
Well, you know, things have gone from bad to worse for the mayor, first facing just a recall. Now law enforcement sources are telling us that this all has to do with campaign finance violations. Again, no confirmation on that, but that's what law enforcement sources are telling us. This raid here at the mayor's home started. We'll show you some video just about 6 o'clock this morning. Neighbors say a knock on the door. They identify a person who they say is the mayor's boyfriend who let federal agents in. And it was not just the FBI. It was also the IRS. In addition to the IRS, it was the U.S. Postal Service, and they were here packaging up various items throughout the morning. Now, as you mentioned, this was not the only location. They were also on Embarcadero Way at one of the homes of Cal Waste Solutions. This is an operation that's been providing recycling services for the city of Oakland since 1992. Well, they were there too, and they were also collecting items from that location. That business is owned by the Duong family, and they were also at two residences belonging to two family members, also conducting property searches in those areas. So at this point, a lot of questions, a lot more questions still need to be answered at this point. Now, we are not expecting any more information out of the FBI. Often as these things go, what we find is that the FBI does their searches, and then we don't hear about it for months and months and months as they sift through all of the evidence that is gathered, and then they see if they are able to make the case that led to these search warrants in the first place. Again, lots of questions. We don't have many answers. We did speak to the folks at Cal Waste Solutions. They say they are absolutely cooperating fully with federal authorities, and they believe that once this is all said and done, they will determine that organization has not done anything unlawful. But again, time will tell. Again, the mayor has not been spotted at this location at all today. Again, her boyfriend that neighbors identify has been seen at this location. But again, at this point, no sight of Oakland Mayor Sheng Thao. Vicki, Grant?
You know, Dan, you've got the FBI, IRS, plus the U.S. Postal Service. What does that tell you about the seriousness of this?
Well, you know, oftentimes in these raids, it's it's not just one federal agency, but various federal agencies. Not always the IRS, not always the U.S. Postal Service. Sometimes it's other federal agencies, but obviously, as law enforcement sources have said, this has to do with campaign finance violations. At least that is what has been suggested. So obviously the IRS is here looking at tax documents. We would assume U.S. Postal Service looking at, I would assume, mail that has gone back and forth, and federal agents looking through everything else. But again, very serious. You know, these search warrants that the federal government gets, you need a lot for a judge to issue a search warrant, especially on the home of a mayor of a big city, and that's what we've seen today. So we'll just have to see where the chips fall once some more information comes out.
Dan, you alluded to this, but is there a decent chance that this issue with the feds is hanging over Mayor Sheng Thao while voters go to the polls in November to decide whether she should be recalled?
Very possibly. I mean, you know, oftentimes when you have search warrants that are under seal, and then we don't hear anything about the case, not just for weeks, but for months. Because at this point, what happens is federal authorities have got to go through all of that material that they've collected, lay it out, see if they can prove a case one way or another, and then interview other witnesses. This might lead them to other areas. So this could be a very long, drawn-out process that could take months, possibly even years, to determine what has been going on. But again, no indication that we're going to get any information anytime soon, because the gathering of this evidence is really the beginning, or at least in the beginning of that process.
Yeah, so are we expecting the mayor to issue a statement at all? What are you hearing?
We are hearing absolutely nothing. We reached out to the mayor's office yesterday, as well as her campaign office regarding the recall for a comment about the recall yesterday. Never heard back from the campaign yesterday. We've reached out to the mayor's office today. Nothing from the mayor. We've been told that any sort of statement that's going to come is going to have to come from the mayor herself. And at this point, we have heard nothing, and we have seen nothing in terms of the mayor.
And Dan, one more, just to be clear, so the mayor's home was raided, but these other locations seem to be connected to a family that owns a recycling company that the city contracts with, correct?
Yes, as we understand, Cal Waste Solutions, and they indicated on their website, has been providing recycling services for the city of Oakland since 1992, which would indicate a contract with the city. From what we know about that is that the two of the other homes have been tied to family members who are running that company. So at this point, this all points to what has been done by Cal Waste Solutions, and if whatever was done by them was lawful, and then the connection that they have had to the mayor of Oakland.
Democrats, man, I tell you. Now, like I said before, I don't think anything's going to really come out of this because, like I said, you got Tiffany Henyard, you got Mayor Adams, and I'm sure there's been another one as well that I'm forgetting about, too, including Brandon Johnson. But it is pretty interesting. It is pretty interesting. So the family, allegedly, of the mayor of Oakland also owns the waste management or recycling company that has a contract with the city of Oakland. But it's a campaign finance law that she allegedly violated. Interesting. You know what's also funny about that? Uncle Trump is getting ready to be sentenced for the same thing. So, it'll be interesting to see what comes out of the Trump situation, but then also what they do about her. We know what they did to Hillary, and that's why I say I doubt anything's going to happen of this. Hillary got a little slap on the wrist and paid a fine, but Uncle Trump is potentially going to go to prison over it, which part of me actually does believe that judge is going to send Trump to prison. And part of me actually hopes he does, right? I kind of hope he does send him to prison because it's going to wake even more people up to how bogus this actually is, okay? But it's interesting stuff, guys. What do you think? What do you think? Allegedly campaign finance law is what she violated in this situation. So another day, another Democrat mayor being raided by the FBI. Oh, wow. I believe not the mayor, the governor of Arizona, I'm not recalling her name. She ran against, I can see both of their faces right now, too. Why am I drawing a blank? Anyway, I believe the governor of Arizona is under investigation as well. She's a Democrat. It's so interesting, right? All of these folks, man. And once again, I doubt anything's going to even come about of this, right? Investigate, okay? It's just, wow. Anyway, y'all let me know what you thought about this. Do you think anything's going to happen to Mrs. Sheng Tao? I don't, if I'm being completely honest. But anyway, peace and love. I'm out.